Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Rickey Chavez with Battle Ready. You know, it's the process of reinventing yourself. You know, it's always a good time for you to self-evaluate. You know, think about where you're at, where you want to be, and don't settle. You know, open your doors, look out and see what is out there to help you. You know, in one of our other shows, we had Annette Monks from Nora's home on, and we had some great conversations about her career, her different paths that she made. And we're going to talk a little bit more today about just solutions. Hey, Annette, welcome back.
Thank you.
So I know in one of the breaks we were talking about what's important, what you know, in all your experience, in 34 years of staffing, you've staffed at every level, from entry level to VPs and probably presidents of some companies, right? Mm-hmm. And so you've had many, many conversations with many people that were in the transition of their life, right? Mm-hmm. What are some of the things that stand out to you were going on in these people's minds, not only as they're trying to feed their families to make the job, but what was going on?
Well, I'll tell you, the most healthy situations were when people went through the proper grieving process.
Okay.
You know, so, I mean, you've got all the stages: denial, then you're angry, and then you're this and you're that. I mean, it's going to happen. Now, it can go quickly, it can go in a day, or it may take you a couple of weeks, I don't know, but there is a process.
Okay.
So they go through that, and then they look at themselves and they go, what could I have done differently? You know, where do I want to go from here? You know, and it takes some accountability where it's appropriate.
Okay.
And then they start looking at their network, you know, and they go, okay, so who do I know? What do I know? What do I want to be when I grow up? I mean, all those things. Because if I just came to you and said, hey, Rick, I'm looking for a job, which happens to me a lot.
Sure.
You know, hey, Rick, I'm looking for a job. Well, they don't call me Rick, but anyway.
Sure.
So,
okay. That wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead.
I think it would be bad.
Okay.
Anyway, okay, so then I'm like, I don't even know where to start, you know, and so you've got to have some idea of, you know, generally the things that you like to do, you know, the kinds of people that are helpful for you to meet,
the direction,
what's
maybe
important to you, is something so that when you're talking to your friends, or then you move out to an outer circle of, you know, maybe people you know on LinkedIn, maybe previous colleagues that you had at other companies, and then you go to people that you don't know at all, which, you know, is a different kind of networking. But you can give them the same story, and you can say, okay, this is what I was doing for this period of time. You know, this happened. I'm in a position where I'm looking again. I love to work with people, kind of customer service. I love to do this. You know, I would love to have this level position. You know, whether it's this industry or that industry. I mean, just the more general, but some level of, organization to what you're looking for.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
Helps everybody who wants to help you. Then then you can say, so if you know anybody that is an HR manager anywhere, do you know anybody who works in HR?
Sure.
Do you know anybody who works in the oil and gas industry? I don't care who they are. Do you know somebody? Yeah, I know somebody who's an admin assistant there. Great, you know, because that admin assistant might be able to tell me who's the decision maker for for some open position.
Sure.
So, you know, the key is going to be not straight here to the job. It's going to be here to this person who sent you to this person who sent you to that person who then sends you to the person who makes a decision, and then you might get the job. So that tends to be what happens more often than not. So
sure, I think through the years, if I can recall, I probably sent you 20, 30 resumes from people that reached out to me from everywhere. I just went right, Annette, not to your offices, because you always filtered where it needed to be.
Right.
Because you knew a lot of different organizations or different places. But I'd be like, hey, Annette, I have this person that's reached out to me. Can you help them? And you went from there. And you were always really good about that. So that's something I always appreciate. But now we talked about people, and I feel like that was really good, centered around people that may have been downsized, left, whatever. What about the person that is in that position? They feel like they're stagnated and they're so scared to do anything. But for their own growth, they may want to do something different. What would they do? What would be a good thing for them to look at?
Well, you know, people are internally motivated. They have to be internally motivated. So if they're not open to at least exploring other things, they don't have to lose their job. They don't have to change anything, but perhaps just opening their minds up to reading material, to going to networking events, to asking more questions of others. I have found a lot of times people talk a lot at networking events, but they don't ask questions and they don't learn about other industries and other types of positions. So they have no idea what's out there. Instead, they just talk about themselves and then leave. And they're like, I didn't get anything out of that. No, you didn't. You didn't learn anything.
Sure.
So, so learning is a big part of it. You're our learner. You have been a lifelong learner. I've seen that.
I'm all over the place for sure.
Yeah, I'm like, wow. So, but that has helped you to be open-minded and to go, I've learned this, I've learned that. And so those people who can do that tend to just, have more material to work with so that they can go, oh, I like this thing. Or, oh, you know what? Now I'm a little more confident that I can do that because I know more about it. Or that person is there to help introduce me in versus me take a chance and try to get in. So it's just all about reaching out and bettering yourself through education. And not by education, I don't mean formal education, just reading. A lot of times you can go to national associations in your industry and you can sign up for the newsletter and you start getting newsletters about what's going on in your industry. So at least you're knowledgeable, and that might help your current company or it might help you to get the next position. So it can be as simple as that.
Well, I know I always say this, you don't know what you don't know, right?
Yeah.
And I know I was in the military for 20 years. Then I met you, went to staffing for a minute. Then I went into corporate America, and that was pretty interesting. Then I left there, and now I'm in real estate. So I've been reinventing myself constantly. I think that, and I'm in a place right now where I never would have dreamed of was even available or possible, but I was open, right?
Right.
And I think that's kind of how you went to Nora's house too. I mean, it's kind of in your wheel well of the service part, but it's still different, right?
Yeah, it does frustrate me when I talk to people who are looking for positions, and I'm like, hey, I have this person, that works for this company, and they would love to visit with you and just see. And that person who's like, no, they don't have an open position that I'm looking for, or whatever. Those people lose so many opportunities because hey, I would talk to anybody.
I'm with you.
You would too, for sure.
No, I totally agree because, I used to know these salespeople for different organizations, and I'm going to say something about my wife right now. I shouldn't even say. She was in Coca-Cola. She was in C-stores. But I met somebody who was a manager of Kroger. I met this really cool guy, and he's open to C. No, that's not C-store. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a C-store.
And so it was like, but that was her early on. Now she's doing what she does, and she's just way open because now she understands because, you refer somebody here, they'll refer somebody back, they'll know somebody here. I believe there's no map to keep you on the path to always knowing and meeting just the people in your journey in the same industry. You know what I mean?
I agree. I mean, the fact is, if you're stagnated in your position and you're stagnated and you want to do something different, then yes, get involved in your industry. Meet other people, not to leave your company, but to learn more about what can be done within your organization that others are doing that you can suggest. So, I mean, make it for yourself. People are waiting, for that next position to come up. You make that position.
What about how often and maybe not at your level that you see a lot, but how often have you talked to people that don't like what they're doing and been doing it a long time?
There are a lot of people that don't like what they're doing.
And there's a light at the end of the tunnel if they want to find it, right?
Of course.
But they just got to keep open.
They, sitting there and continuing to complain about what they don't like is probably not healthy, and it's not healthy for the people around them, and it's not healthy for the business. Then what happens is they end up getting laid off, and they're mad about that.
And they're not ready for the next thing.
Yeah.
And I think...
and they're a victim.
Oh, yes. But, even if you feel like you've been a victim and you're listening to the show right now, you just got to kind of put a line in the sand and move forward and know there's so many resources. And we're in Houston. Oh, my gosh. On LinkedIn, you can find out everything that's going on in Houston at any given time.
Yes, there are so many different places you can go for information.
And it doesn't matter what level you're at. You can be entry level on. Because I have had some of the most amazing conversations when I was a director of contract resources. And I met people and they were like open to talk to me. I'm like, I'm going to talk to everybody. And that's me. But I'm not unique. There's so many people just like me. You're like me. We're like exactly the same. We'll talk to everybody.
You never know where it can lead you.
That's right. That's 100% right.
So I agree.
But you got to get out the house.
Got to get off the couch.
And go do your things, right? And know that somebody's out there waiting to mentor you. Just got to find them, right?
And ask.
Oh, yes.
You got to ask.
And I also know this. Once you ask, you have to follow up. It's your responsibility. I know that. You said that earlier, right? I asked you to be my mentor. You said yes. Great.
Now bring me the curriculum.
Yeah.
Doesn't work that way.
Spoon feed me, right?
Yeah.
But you can spoon feed yourself and go out there. And oh my God, ChatGPT. Are you real good with ChatGPT? You learning with that?
I'm not good with it, but I know what it is.
Well, I'll tell you this. I've learned recently that you can go to ChatGPT and say, Houston, Texas, put a schedule together for me to have fun with my family, and it will tell you what to do.
Wow.
I mean, it's amazing. So if you don't know what to do, just write it up, see what happens. Yeah, go ChatGPT it, all right? And that's not a plug-in for that, but it's just I know it's worked for me. And things I do, it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's pretty spoon-fed right there.
Yeah, that is.
But guys, you know, as always, it's fun being here, having conversation with amazing people like Annette, and just realizing there's so many people and resources out here to help you get over the hump. And if you don't even know that the hump's there, but you see that there's something you want to change, make the change, right? I know that, tell me if I'm wrong about this point. Most companies like hiring people that are already working because they know they've had some accomplishments, right? So like you said earlier, right? Don't wait till you set yourself up to be downsized or whatever. Move to the next level.
But if that happens, it's okay.
Yes.
Most companies do understand it. It's how you present it and keep positive about that way you present it makes a huge difference.
Well, guys, thanks again for joining Annette and myself here at Battle Ready. We appreciate everything. Come see us again. Hope you have a good night.